If you've ever seen the hit Comedy Central show Key and Peele, you've likely come across diglossia, a term used in sociolinguistics to define a situation in which two dialects of a language are used by a single speech community. Hello, my name is Christopher, and today we're going to talk about the fascinating application of diglossia. And because this is lay linguistics and we like to keep things fun, we're going to examine a funny instance of it from Key and Peele, one of my favourite comedy programs. So, in yesterday's video we discussed the confounding practice of code switching, or language mixing, that arises from the acquisition of two first languages in early childhood. Although related, diglossia, which comes from the Greek a state of being bilingual, is different in that it primarily involves changing speech based on the situation, not simply on what's being said. Also, in the strictest sense, code switching applies to mutually unintelligible languages, while diglossia involves dialects, meaning specialized forms of a singular language used within specific social groups. In many parts of the world, you'll have a prestigious, high variety of a language contrasted with a low, colloquial one. The former is what's taught in school, what you'd hear in most speeches, lectures, news broadcasts, etc., and is seen by grammatical prescriptivists as the pure or correct form of a language with codified rules to be upheld. And the latter is a more flexible, casual version used in daily conversation by much of the population. This is especially the case across the Arab-speaking world, where Standard Arabic is considered the high variety with dozens of low variety dialects underneath used in everyday speech. For communicating outside your speech community, however, Standard Arabic might be used. But the example I wish to focus on today concerns Standard American White English and African American Vernacular English, also known simply as Ebonics. There are plenty of excellent videos about this topic on YouTube, although I think they tend to make the mistake of calling it code switching when diglossia would be more accurate. So, please take a look at this 15-second clip from Key and Peele, my use of which is protected for this non-profit educational video under the doctrine of fair use.
Unfortunately, the orchestra is already filled up, but they do have seats that are still left in the dress circle. So if you want me to get them theater tickets right now, I'm gonna do it right now.
What's up, dog? I'm about 5 minutes away.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. No, they all good singers. They all good singers.
Yeah, son.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny, right? Well, forgive me, but in order to fully grasp the concept, we'll have to dissect the humor. So in case you're unfamiliar, one of the show's running themes was the biracialism of the co-stars, Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, who play off their identities by sometimes sounding white and other times sounding black, depending on the situation. Perhaps the most famous example of this involved President Obama and Luther, his anger translator. So, in that clip, Key is speaking to his wife about the theatre, which I'd say is generally considered a fairly white activity. I mean, it can be hard to tell because auditoriums are kept pretty dim, but I have been to Tanglewood and I can assure you that it's rather homogeneous. Perhaps Hamilton has had some effect on this, I don't know. Anyway, when Peele, obviously a black guy, approaches, Key immediately switches from Standard American to the black vernacular to sound less white in the presence of someone speaking the same dialect. Now, the fact that he does this mid-sentence is primarily an exaggeration for comedic effect. My understanding is that most speakers of Standard American and AAVE would not simply switch between them in the middle of a conversation, as is often the case with language mixing. It's more likely that a black person might speak to his or her friends in this casual low variety, but then speak the high variety of white English in a more formal situation like a job interview. Key and Peele have other sketches in which the joke is reversed and they try to sound more white to better fit in, which is probably more reflective of the real world, to be honest. I'll attach some links of my favourite examples in the description, as well as the rest of that clip from before. Alright, that's all for today. I really hope that made sense and that you learned something as well. Of course, there's so much more to get into regarding stereotypes and prejudice about speech, but other content creators have already covered that far better than I ever could. please let me know if I should make more lay linguistics videos by leaving a like and comment down below. My sources as always are in the description, and with that, thank you so much for watching.